as it has been announced that legendary music mogul Clive Davis has died at the age of 94. A little bit more information as we are continuing to follow this breaking news at this hour here on Live Now from Fox. Clive Davis, the legendary music mogul who helped launch the careers of icons like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Kelly Clarkson, and so much more, has died. He died Monday at his home in New York City, and the cause of death at this time is unclear. But according to TMZ's previous reporting, there were concerns about his health just weeks ago when he was hospitalized in New York with an upper respiratory infection.
Rest in peace to Clive Davis. A lot of people saying this is karma for all of the artists that lost their lives under his leadership. But Clive didn't put them needles to them people's arms. Clive didn't put that pipe to nobody's lips. As far as we know, he just helped people launch their careers. Rest in peace to Whitney Houston. Kanye West came out and let it be known that Clive Davis possibly has something to do with Whitney Houston's passing.
Exactly what happened inside the iconic Beverly Hilton remains a mystery. Paramedics raced to the 4th floor and found a lifeless Whitney Houston inside her hotel room bathtub. They tried in vain to resuscitate her with CPR.
You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that.
Contrary to the coroner's conclusion that her death was accidental, Hubel claims that Houston's body shows classic defense wounds consistent with someone fighting for her life.
Did Kanye West just expose Clive Davis for killing Whitney Houston? Kanye recently spoke about how Hollywood elites will often stage a celebrity death to make it look like they unalived themselves, and fans are now saying that this is exactly what happened to Whitney. See, just hours after Whitney was discovered in her hotel room bathtub, her longtime mentor Clive Davis held a pre-Grammy party in the same hotel, and he allegedly knew that Whitney's body was still in the building.
I don't know what could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously.
A number of Whitney's friends and family have called out Clive for disrespecting Whitney. However, fans are now saying this whole situation is much more serious. In fact, a lot of people are convinced Clive is one of those Hollywood elites that Kanye talked about who have the power to make celebs disappear. But does this mean that Clive was somehow involved in Whitney's death? And why are fans saying that Clive's pre-Grammy party was a ritual? Let's get into it. It's been 11 years since Whitney Houston, one of the greatest, if not the greatest singers of all time, passed away. And Whitney's fans are still hoping the real truth of her death will come out one day. See, there are so many different conspiracy theories about Whitney's final days, but the most popular one involves Whitney's mentor and record producer Clive Davis. After Kanye West recently exposed the dark side of the music industry and claimed that Hollywood executives have built a system to traumatize and monetize celebs, Whitney Houston's fans reignited the conversation about Clive Davis's infamous 2012 pre-Grammy party, and most of them are even saying that Clive was somehow involved in Whitney's death. To give you some context, Whitney Houston died on February 11, 2012, on the same day she was supposed to perform at Clive's pre-Grammy Awards party at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. But just hours before the scheduled party, Whitney's assistant discovered Whitney lying face down in a bathtub filled with water. Whitney was unresponsive, and her assistant called Whitney's bodyguard, Ray Watson, to help her get Whitney out of the tub. Ray later told The Mirror that the scene in the bathroom was surreal, and he panicked because he couldn't understand what happened to Whitney. "I couldn't tell if she was alive or dead," Ray said. "I got her out of the water and tried to revive her. Then it was all crazy." Whitney's assistant and her bodyguard called 911, and the paramedics arrived at Whitney's hotel room at 3:30 p.m. They performed CPR, but sadly it was too late, and at 3:55 p.m., Whitney Houston was pronounced dead.
We have breaking news tonight out of Los Angeles, the death of singing star Whitney Houston at the age of 48. Details are still coming in, but her publicist has confirmed her death to the Associated Press, although the circumstances and the place are not clear.
Now, the cause of why Whitney died wasn't immediately known, and the local police said that there were no obvious signs of criminal intent. However, after conducting an autopsy and running toxicology tests, the LA County Coroner's Office concluded that Whitney's death was caused by drowning combined with the effects of heart disease and use. And though the autopsy report noted external trauma on Whitney's body, the coroner ruled that there were no signs of foul play. However, Whitney's fans felt that there was something suspicious about the whole thing, and the speculation reached a boiling point after it was revealed that Clive Davis decided to go through with his pre-Grammy party at the Beverly Hilton after he learned Whitney died. Now just think about this for a second. The Whitney Houston died, and her longtime mentor and other celebs were totally fine dancing and having fun while Whitney's body was above the banquet room. Make it make sense. As for Clive, he claimed that he wanted to pay tribute to Whitney because that's what she would have wanted, and he insisted that Whitney's family didn't ask him to cancel the party.
Why did you let the party go on?
Of course, this is a personal thing, but the Grammys were the next night. You don't cancel. You turn an evening into a tribute.
You did a magnificent evening.
Into...
Did you give a thought to canceling?
Never.
You never thought?
Never.
Did you ever think...
And the family did not want me to give a thought. No.
However, several Whitney's friends and family have since come forward to say that Clive disrespected Whitney by partying at the same hotel where she died just hours before. In fact, Whitney's longtime friend Chaka Khan said Clive's decision to go through with the party was insanity, and it was actually the opposite of what Whitney would have wanted.
You were, I think, going to go to the Clive Davis party.
Yes.
It was a surreal event where Whitney's body was still in the hotel, and there was this sort of party where apparently half the room were in tears, the other half were kind of partying. What did you feel about that?
I thought that was complete insanity. And knowing Whitney, I don't believe that she would have said, the show must go on. She was the kind of woman that would say, stop everything.
All of this is sad because Clive Davis was a legendary producer. They put out legendary music. You're not never gonna get no music like how they put it out back in the day. Whitney Houston gone. Even though people feel like Clive had something to do with it, I get them both R.I.P. We don't know all the details. We never met these people, a lot of us, and for the people that did, I never heard them come out and say that Clive was the reason why Whitney gone. Either way, both of them gone. And we just gotta send our condolences to their family and friends. His family reports that he passed away peacefully from age-related illnesses. He was 94 years old. I'm pretty sure he enjoyed every last minute of it. Rest in peace to Clive Davis.
Chaka Khan also criticized Clive for saying that the party was a tribute to Whitney because it simply made no sense that someone who supposedly loved and cared about Whitney would have the strength to party hours after she died.
A true tribute, might have been a truer, a more honest tribute in my opinion, would have been maybe call everybody together, let's say a prayer, and let's eat dinner and go home. I couldn't get dressed. I was supposed to go to the party. I just got off a plane from Miami at about 5:30. As soon as I hit the tarmac, I found out, I heard, and I couldn't put on makeup. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't do anything. I was paralyzed. I couldn't do anything.
Besides that, there have also been speculation that Whitney was beaten before she died. And though the official autopsy report made no mention of this, several industry insiders, including Jaguar Wright, claimed that Whitney's family saw her body was beaten.
They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
And then, on top of all that, a clip recently resurfaced on social media showing Whitney crashing an interview with Brandy, Monica, and Clive Davis and passing a note to Brandy while repeatedly saying the word drowned. Keep in mind that this interview took place just 2 days before Whitney died, and this led fans to speculate that Whitney knew she was in danger. You can hear her say, "I nearly drowned today twice," one fan said. Really creeped me out. And another fan commented, "Am I the only one hearing Clive Davis say you have to pay tribute? Pay him tribute? This video just stirs my soul with suspicions and revelations." And then what's also incredibly disturbing is just 3 years after Whitney died, her only child, Bobby Christina, also passed away in the same manner as Whitney. On January 31st, 2015, Bobby's former fiance, Nick Gordon, and another friend found Bobby face down in a bathtub in her home in Georgia. Bobby was still alive and breathing when the paramedics arrived, and doctors placed her in an induced coma. However, after being in a coma for nearly 6 months, Bobby Christina died on July 26, 2015 at the age age of 22. The initial autopsy found no obvious underlying cause of death and no significant injuries. However, it was later determined that the underlying cause of death was immersion associated with drug intoxication. But the manner of death could not be confirmed, and the autopsy report stated that the medical examiner was not able to determine whether the death was due to intentional or accidental causes. And then in July 2020, Nick Gordon, Bobby's former fiance, who discovered her body, also died of a suspected OD. Bobby Christina's dad, Bobby Brown, later claimed that Nick was involved in both Whitney and Bobby Christina's deaths by supplying them with drugs. However, fans still dismiss these claims, pointing out that Bobby was probably trying to deflect from the fact that he was the one who introduced drugs to Whitney. Fans are also saying that Whitney's substance use and the way she obtained those substances is beside the point, and we need to look at the bigger picture and the people who profited from her death. Of course, fans are now pointing the finger at Clive Davis, and some of them are even saying that Clive's pre-Grammy party was a blood ritual. Clive Davis is the mastermind, one fan said. Whitney was literally sacrificed. That party was a ritual. They partied knowing that her dead body was in the hotel. And another fan added, Clive Davis having his pre-Grammy party as Whitney's dead body was being wheeled out was grotesque, and also a reminder of how disposable Whitney Houston was to the people she turned into multi-millionaires. So if these people profited from Whitney's work, what would they have to gain from her being dead? Well, when we're talking about huge stars like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, and Prince, they're actually worth more dead than alive, because when someone big like that dies, their catalog instantly starts doing crazy numbers. Also, the celebs can never challenge the labels and others involved for the full control of their music. Now, when it comes to Clive Davis, as of January 2023, he has a net worth of $850 million, which makes him one of the richest men in the music industry. Now, to be clear, Clive didn't earn all his money after Whitney died. He's been building his fortune for a very long time. However, Whitney's fans are still convinced that Clive is somehow involved with Whitney's death, and they're saying that this is exactly what Kanye warned us about. Kanye isn't crazy or delusional, one fan said. He's wide awake and speaking on the truth of how things need to change before the industry keeps killing to profit when things don't stay the way they want them to. And another fan wrote, we've been saying this for years. We all know what they do to celebrities. God bless you, Kanye. Stay true to the Lord and he will guide your way. The elite would be frothing from the mouth that this is exposing them. We all know what happened to the others that did. R.I.P. But let's hear your thoughts on this. Is it possible that Whitney Houston was murdered? And do you think rumors about Clive Davis being involved in the death are true?
Man, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. He done helped so many people. Janis Joplin, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Chicago, Carlos Santana, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, Aerosmith, Earth, Wind and Fire, Simon and Garfunkel, Sly and the Family Stone, Barbra Streisand, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, Barry Manilow, Whitney Houston, Jill Scott Heron, Patti LaBelle Smith, the Foo Fighters, Sarah McLachlan, Aretha Franklin, Annie Lennox, so many people, the Kinks, the Grateful Dead, Donnie Dorwick. It don't even stop. He keep this thing going on forever, man. Help so many people, even Luther Vandross, Alicia Keys, Usher, just to name a few. Send y'all condolences. I know y'all want to hear me talk bad about the man because of what allegedly happened to Whitney Houston, but hey, man, we're going to have to save that for another day. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and one more thing before I go.
Subscribe to my channel if that's what you want, but if that's not what you like, then you must be a punk. Hold on now, here we go. Who is this girl? She got that junk in her trunk. Baby girl, back it up, poke out your rump. It's S.A.T that you want, and my music hit